Well, hey, it is an unstoppable day. You know, it's Tuesday night, so it must be the Unstoppable Stories Show with your host, Terrance Leftridge. That would be me. Yes, indeed. Come on in, swipe and share. Come on in for another fun-filled, fantastic show. The Unstoppable Stories Show, where we talk to ordinary people with unstoppable stories, just like you, and especially you. So we want to give you a couple of seconds to come on in. As always, we thank you so much for being here. We know you've got plenty of options of choices that you could be doing on a Tuesday night. So we want to thank you so much for making the Unstoppable Stories part of your Tuesday night entertainment schedule. You know, I am blessed to have been doing this now for almost 2 years on this platform called Be Live TV. And I think it just keeps getting better and better and greater and greater. And it's because of people just like you guys who know quality programming and love to watch it. So as we take a couple of seconds, we want to make sure that we're testing everything, make sure we're broadcasting live. So I'm going to give a couple more seconds for people to come in. And of course, I'm always going to check and make sure that people can see me as well. Because if I'm just talking to myself, that really ain't going to help nobody out. Now, trust me, I have talked to myself on many occasions, ain't afraid to do it, but I would much rather talk to you guys and introduce you to these phenomenal people that we're going to talk to you about this evening on the Unstoppable Stories Show. We are going to start off this first half talking to the wonderful group of phenomenal authors that are going to be part of the Authors Read Literary Showcase coming up this weekend. Yes, the Authors Read Literary Showcase, the brainchild of the phenomenal Tara Poetry in Motion, with her picture you can see in the upper right-hand corner of this photo, she came up with this great idea to really promote authors and really give them a platform where they could talk about not only their latest works, but talk about the reason why they thought it was important to tell their stories. And trust me, we have some great stories that are going to be told on this Saturday at the ABJ Community Services, 1818 East 71st Street on the south side of Chicago. We look forward to seeing you guys there. It is free admission, and we still do have tickets available. You can go ahead and register. We'll give you that information as we go through the show tonight. But what I want to do is I want to give an opportunity for some of the authors themselves to get an opportunity to share with you just a sneak peek, a little bit about what their stories are. So as we wait for people to come on in to swipe and share, come on in, swipe and share. If you are watching us live, go ahead and say the number 1 in the comment section. If you are watching us via replay, which we hope you will, just put the number 2 down there in the screen. But we are going to get started without further ado. I've got 2 phenomenal authors that are going to be part of the event coming up this Saturday. Authoresses, if I should say, 2 lovely women, both with their own different story. One story comes from a cause, and another story comes from just the profound poetess that she is. So let's welcome 2 of the featured authors on the Authors Read Literary Showcase this week to the stage. We've got Felicia Matlock and we've got Vicki Walker. Hey, 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 ladies, welcome.
Welcome. Hey. Hello, everyone.
How are you guys doing?
Fantastic.
Wonderful.
Good. Well, I thank you guys so much for taking a little bit of your time to come be on the Unstoppable Story Show. And I thank you so much for stepping up and stepping out onto this phenomenal stage that we are going to be creating for this Saturday, for a wonderful experience of literary works from all different genres and all different walks of life. So thank you too for deciding to take action and be a part of this group.
Oh, no problem.
What I'd like to do, I'd like to give each one of you the opportunity to just introduce yourselves first to the Unstoppable Stories audience. So just tell us your name and how long you've been an author and where you hail from. Let's start with Felicia, okay?
All right. Thank you, Terrance. Hello, Vicki. Again,
Hello.
my name is Felicia Matlock, and born and raised here in Chicago. I have been writing since my youth, starting with poetry. That's been my first love, has been my consistent lover, and just expanding from there, from short stories to novels to now I'm just really interested in playwriting. So I've been writing pretty much all my life.
Fantastic. And you say you are born and raised right here in the Windy City, right?
Yes, yes.
Well, fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that. And so, Vicki, tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from.
Well, my name is Vicki Walker, and I am also born and raised in Chicago. I have a journalism degree, which is why I started writing. I've only been writing about 3 years now. But mine came out of a tragedy, which you'll learn about in my story. It was my gut to tell a true story. It was a tragedy, and I turned it into a triumph. My daughter passed about 3 years ago, so my writing came out of telling her life story and what happened the weekend that she passed. So it's now my goal to help other parents in my situation and to just tell my baby's life story and touch the world like she touched the world.
I love it. Thank you so much for sharing that little bit with us. And, you know, it's one thing that we know, writing touches all types of emotions. Writing comes from a number of different places. Each place is different, as well as each person is different. So that's what I love about bringing all of you guys together for this showcase, because it's not going to just be one type of writing that people are going to be exposed to. It's not just going to be one situation that people are going to be exposed to. It's going to be, it'll run the gamut from funny, ha, 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 to tragic and and to triumphant, all in the same time. So I'm expecting people to have their sides splitting when they leave on Saturday, but I'm also expecting people to not have some dry eyes after they hear some of these stories. So thank you too, and I want to definitely shout out all the 10 authors that are going to be there this coming Saturday. So you definitely want to make yourself in your place in those seats there on Saturday afternoon. So Felicia, you've been writing for quite some time. What is the latest book that you're going to be talking to us about?
My latest book that I'm going to be promoting is called Teasing Rain. It is the second installation in a series of Rain. And it's pretty much a little girl. She learns how to deal with the teasing and taunting at school. And her father's going to be very instrumental in helping her coming up with a solution there.
So what made you decide to write this installment of the book? And tell us when you wrote the first installment of the book.
Okay, yes. You know, I have a daughter. So a lot of the inspiration came just being as far as a single parent there. And a lot of the little ins and outs that she has challenged me as a mother. And I wanted this children's series to be educational as well as entertaining. So each one was a centerpiece on a lesson. The first book, Selfish Rain, was written about maybe 8 to 10 years ago. And that was just dealing at that time, helping a little girl to learn the value of just sharing. So like I said, the next one, the current one is Teasing Rain. And the one that I'm going to be working on this year is going to be called Irresponsible Rain. That'll be coming out. So wow. Just expanding the Rain series.
And Rain is spelled R-A-I-N or R-E-I-G-N?
It's spelled R-A-I-N-E.
Oh, okay, cool. Wow. I love those topics. I love how you are taking a book and you are turning it into a series. You're touching on different topics. That the evolution of the book is fantastic. And so that's really a great way to do it. So I appreciate that. And I appreciate you again for being a part of the group this coming Saturday. Conversely, so Vicki, the title of your book, and it's a little bit different because it's part of a collaboration, right?
That's correct. In the first volume called Women Thriving Fearlessly, Volume 1, and I start off telling Nikki's story and the event of her accident and how the accident happened and what I've done thus far since the accident. And then I have another one called Women Thriving Fearlessly, Volume 2, the Mother's Edition. So it's a 2-part series where I expand in the second chapter of the book, expanding her story and what I've done since she's passed and the things that I'm currently involved in.
So for you, this, and you know, of course, I know your story. We know each other well, had many decades together of knowing each other. How was this experience of writing this story from a place of tragedy for you?
It was actually a healing process. It may not work for everybody, but to be able to put down on paper what actually happened to her is part of my healing process. And the more that I write, the more that I heal, the more I can accept what happened and try to move on a daily basis.
I love it. I love it. So definitely. And that's the one thing that I want people to also understand is that books have the ability to heal. They have the ability to entertain. They have the ability to inform, and they also have the ability to educate. So I love what you guys are going to be bringing to the audience from the stage, especially for those people who are going to be in the audience and may have not made up their mind that they really want to write that book yet. If you come out this Saturday, you are going to hear some phenomenal stories, but you may hear some familiar stories because the stories you hear from the stage are going to be very similar to the story that you might be living and walking in right now. So we definitely look forward to seeing you there. And we have the brainchild of the Authors Read Literary Showcase in the green room right now. You know, I had shrimp down there, so she had to eat some more shrimp. So now she finally made herself available to being on the show. Let's bring into the audience for the first time on the Unstoppable Story Show, Miss Tara, Poetry in Motion. Hey, Tara, can you hear us? Okay, we can't hear you, Tara. We can see you, but we can't hear you. Mic check, 1 2 1 2.
I can hear you.
Okay, we got you now. All right, how are you?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
You hear me okay now?
Yes,
okay,
we hear you.
Hi, I'm good. How is everyone?
Hello.
Fantastic.
Hi. Thank you for having me. Glad to be here. Glad to join you guys.
Yes.
No, thank you for being for putting this all together and making this Authors Read Literary Showcase a possibility. So for the people who don't know you, go ahead and just take a second and introduce yourself to the Unstoppable Stories family.
Okay, well, I am Tara Cooks, aka Poetry in Motion. I am a radio personality, a writer, performing artist, mentor, event host, so a number of things. But enough about me.
We could take a whole show just talking about you, right?
No, it's not all about me. Not today.
So as I was telling the audience, this was your brainchild, and you did an author's read back in 2018. So tell us how that came to be and why you felt it was so important to give authors in Northwest Indiana and the Chicagoland area a platform like this.
Well, yes, as you said, and Terrance was a part of the first one. It took place December 16th, 2018. And I just really felt like authors are another form of artist. So I could really see that authors needed, not so much that every author needed exposure. It's more about doing something different for one thing, but also giving the audience the opportunity to really get a taste of what each author's writing is all about. But also because just being able to share a platform and help give some exposure to other artists, period. And that's one of the things that I'm really very big on is sharing platforms and finding ways to help other artists as well as myself, really connect with the public. So, but but most importantly, reading, education, period, is very important. And it's also important to me, and I feel like reading is the most fundamental basis of all education, because if you can't read very well, you really can't do much of anything else very well. I mean, you could, not saying that you can't necessarily, but it's going to hold you back. But and it's not so much as about everyone is coming out is going to learn how to read, because I think that would be kind of silly of me to say but it's the importance of making that connection, that experience of just picking up a book, because we are too technology connected. And as much as I like technology and I think it's great, for the uses that it has and in its place, but there are too many of us that are just we're too connected to our computers, to our tablets, to our phones, and it's almost like a library is becoming a dying breed, and I don't want that to happen. I want people to continue picking up a book, because it is not the same as, it's just like if you watch a movie. Some movies I like going to the movie theater to see it because I like that theater experience. It's not the same watching it at home.
Absolutely. And you made a couple of great points there as we are chopping it up with some of the authors of the Authors Read Literary Showcase, which is happening this weekend here in the Chicagoland area on the Unstoppable Story Show. We've got Tara Poetry in Motion Cooks, we've got Felicia Madlock, and we've got Vicki Walker in the house. thank you, ladies, again for being here. But I want to throw to Felicia and Vicky what Tara just said about readers kind of being a dying breed because we're so connected to our tablets and our iPhones and our Androids and our computers. So, Vicky, what do you think about that? Especially since you're writing from a standpoint of a mother who lost her daughter. How do you feel about reading as far as kids are concerned?
I think they need to do more of it because, like Tara said, kids' phones are attached to their hands, their tablets are attached. There's no communication within families, and anything they can read, they can do it on the Kindle. There's no touching of paper any longer. So we need to get back to having a real book and having kids go to the library and do things in the library versus on their Kindles or on their laptops or on their tablets. That died with us basically. Once this new generation came in with Instagram and Twitter and all of that, there is no more reading of books. Everything can be done on the computer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree. Felicia, why don't you grab some of that? What do you think?
I pretty much echo in there. One of the things me and my daughter used to love to do was to go to Borders up in Hyde Park. I just sit down, let her browse the books that she was interested in. And that would be an afternoon. That would really enjoy it. Just totally, no expectation to stay a couple hours. Not able to do that anymore. So I totally agree. I've always been one that still got my library card. I still go and check. It's nothing like a physical book for myself, and I pass that on to her to just be able to flip through those pages. Again, I like audiobooks, that when I'm on my trips or something, but I prefer a hard physical book in my hand so I can be able to read it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm one of those guys, I think I'm probably one of those that fall in the category of ADHD for sensory dysfunction because I just love how a book feels. I just love how it feels in my hand. And I especially love it if it's something that I did. And, to be able to turn the pages and just get lost in it. But now I also love the fact that we've been able to evolve because sometimes I don't like carrying a lot of things with me, especially, when you're on a trip or when you're someplace where you don't have a lot of space to put stuff down, but to be able to still get that same book that you held in your hand on your phone, something that you carry around with you and you can just put in your pocket or put on your clip, that works for me as well. But I think the key that we are trying to really bring out this weekend is that the written word is still so very popular and so very powerful. Would you agree with that statement, Tara?
Yes, there is a reason why the statement, the saying goes, the pen is mightier than the sword.
All right.
And if you think about it, when technology fails, what can you still turn to? And that's paper.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't care if it's a mess and it may take you a couple of hours to sift through it, but it doesn't matter if you still have that paper. Besides, sometimes just actually sitting in a book, sitting down, curled up with a book, you really get lost in it. I mean, yeah, you can get lost in watching stuff on your computer and stuff like that, but it's still not the same. And besides, I don't think the experience would be the same if when you're reading to your child, you could do it off your computer, but nowadays a lot of people are letting the computers read to the child. It's no longer the parents doing it. I like the experience of actually being able to sit down with my child and read to them, read with them, show them the pictures, let them show me the pictures, let them read to me. So true enough, this is not, the author's read is not a children's event per se, but it still encompasses the whole point in picking up a book. Not only picking up a book, but supporting the artist behind the book, because that may be their life's work and they definitely pour their heart into it. So when you write, you're telling a story. You're not writing it because you plan on.
Okay, we might have lost your feed there. Mic check, Tara.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so you dropped off a second. You said you were about to say something about it's not like you were about to, and then we lost you there. Do you remember your
Oh,
thought?
okay. Maybe that was my cue to shut up. So,
Okay, so maybe that was Tara's cue
but no, I was just going
shut
to
up and
say,
read.
still, I like the feeling of picking up a book. I like, and especially if the adults have to be the ones to set the example if we're going to encourage children to do it. We can't tell them to do it and then hand them a tablet.
Gotcha.
So, I mean, we still got to set the example.
Gotcha. I love it. You were talking to some of the authors and the brainchild of the Authors Read Literary Showcase, Tara Poetry and Motion Cooks, Felicia Madlock, and Vicki Walker here on the Unstoppable Stories Show. Thank you guys who are watching live. Thank you guys who are watching in the watch party. For some reason, the people who are watching in the watch party, you're not making it, your comments aren't making it to my screen here. It's live stream video. Things happen. But I am going to say shout out to Arlene Collins in Michigan. She's watching. She says she loves to read. She goes to the library and she agrees with all the things you ladies are saying. Thank you, Candy Conda, for watching. Thank you. Eddie Gar says he's joining us in the watch party. Go on and show some love, show our ladies some hearts, and leave some comments, and we will make sure that we read it on the air before the show's over. And I had the honor of being one of the authors on Tara's inaugural Authors Read Showcase in Gary back in December. And what I loved about it is I loved about the fact that authors now had a platform to go beyond just what they wrote in that book. And everybody knows I'm an accountability coach, and I also am a book coach, and I help people not only get their books published, but I help them turn their message and get it out to the masses. And so we are all about not just writing a book and having it end up on the table. We are about helping you write that book and then go to the next level. And what is the next level for you, an aspiring author that is looking to write a book or has written a book but hasn't gotten that trajectory or hasn't gotten that that push that they were hoping to get when they started writing the book? So I want to ask our audience, while we got you here, each and every one of you, why did you decide to write a book? And now, after you've written the book, what's next? And we'll start with you, Felicia.
Why did I start to write my first book?
Yes.
Wow. My first book was entitled When Love Cries. It was a book of poetry, and I wrote that back in 1999, if I remember correctly. And Chicago was on fire. I mean, the poetry scene was hot. It was a time where self-publishing was just exploding for African-American writers. So I was just ready. I did the research. I was collaborating with other writers, got the steps in place. So it was just the right time for that. And as far, like she said, a lot of support. It was some Black bookstore that was on board to really help with independent writers at that time. So it was just a season that was just really cultivating writers at that time.
And so what do you hope to do now with this platform that you have on Saturday? And what's next for Felicia Madlock as an author?
That's a good question. The whole landscape of writing has changed. So now it's about coming back out, collaborating with new individuals, just getting inspired. When you are in that community of people doing something similar, you inspire you as far as the next level. So my children's book coming out 2019, finishing a third novel, and just like you said, some other writing projects. Something that has been a new thing for me is playwriting. Last year, I took a playwriting class at Northeastern University. Yeah, Northeastern University, and won first place in the contest. So that was
congratulations.
It was 10 minutes, but again, and using the idea and expand it to something new. So I think that will just be a whole new frontier just to see it. My ideas act out on stage. I'm ready for that next level for me.
I love it. I love it. And I'm so happy to say that I happen to have worked with a couple on helping them do their first book back in 2017. And the book was called Do You Love Me Still? And a year later, they turned that book into a stage play loosely based upon the book that they had just wrote. So I've seen it happen, and I'm claiming it for you in your future as well, Felicia. Okay?
Cute.
Absolutely. So, Vicky, same question to you. What made you decide to write your first book, and what do you expect to happen now that you have been part of a book project? What's next for Vicky?
Well, a friend of mine who had done a collaborative project with Erica before, she was like, well, I have this friend, she does collaborative projects with women. It's for women only. We get to tell our stories. I think you have a phenomenal story. So I contacted her, we clicked, became part of the first book. And it was, like I said, it was a healing experience for me. And that, went into the second book. And now what I'm thinking about doing is doing my own collaborative project. I've got a few mothers lined up that are in my situation that have lost children. So it's going to be on the platform to help other mothers that have lost children and help them get the healing that they need, and get their names out there, get them exposed, and have them do their first book, and just kind of continue on from there, just helping out people, helping out parents to get them started, to get them to writing, to healing, and just see where this goes.
I love it. I think that is wonderful too, and we love working on causes here at the Unstoppable Story Show and Unstoppable Plus Publishing. I hope you definitely will continue with that. I know that it will be great to have that book out there, a book of healing, a book of support, and a book to let people know that they're not in it alone. So thank you that. So as we wrap up this segment, I want to throw it back to you, Tara, with the last question. And that simply is, why should people come out and see these phenomenal authors at the Authors Read Literary Showcase coming up this Saturday?
Okay, well, first I want to say, Felicia, you and I have a lot more in common than we realize. I also went to Northeastern. Well, first of all, when I decided to do the Authors Read in December, and I think this carries over throughout time, my first thought was, how many times have you thought about checking out a book or walked past a book, the title caught your attention, or maybe the cover caught your attention because of the picture, whatever, but even though you may read the back of it, it doesn't always really give you that you don't always get the feeling or the idea behind it. And sometimes you just really, so it was basically, well, what if I could get a little snippet of it to give me an idea if I really want to buy this book, if I really want to pick it up, if I really want to check it out at the library. So that's one of the things that people are going to get when they come to the Authors Read. So it takes the guesswork out of it for you, for one thing. And when this took place in December, I was so amazed and happy at the stories that I heard, what I heard from the authors, and every last one was different, but it was all great. And it was like, wow, these are just some really cool writers here. But not only that, but anyone who is looking to get started with writing, I mean, say you've always thought about writing a book, or maybe you just want to just write something, you're looking to get started, anyone who is looking to push their first book or beyond their first book, there are so many opportunities in this, because you're not just coming to listen to a great group of authors, you're also coming to be entertained, as well as to network, as well as to be enlightened, to be inspired, to get some information, to share information. There's just so many things that could happen this coming Saturday. So many things that will happen this coming Saturday. And if you're looking for it to be some ho-hum-drum event, it's not going to be. Not at all. So,
not.
If anybody knows me, I don't do ordinary. I'm sorry, what was that?
Absolutely not. I appreciate you guys. Thank you, Tara, for sharing that information. You guys, again, go to the registration page right now, bit.ly/authors read with a capital A, or you can simply go to eventbrite.com and look up the Authors Read Literary Showcase this Saturday here in the Chicagoland area at the ABJ Community Services, 1818 East 71st Street. It's a free event. I said, it's a free event. I said, it's a free event.
Free event.
Free event. So you have no reason, no excuse not to come out. If you are an aspiring author, if you're thinking about being an author, if you are a seasoned author, but you're looking to take that book, that vision to the next level, then you need to have your face in the place with these phenomenal authors this Saturday from noon to 4 p.m. at the Authors Read Literary Showcase. Thank you, ladies. I appreciate you. I appreciate you for stepping out in this vision. I appreciate you for walking in this purpose. And I just appreciate you guys for being the beautiful women that you are inside and out. And thank you for coming on the show tonight.
Oh, we forgot one thing. We forgot one thing. ABJ, that's the thing. ABJ Community Services, they've been part of the community for 25 years. So we're also putting a spotlight on them as well. So they've been working with Chicago's youth, getting them off the street, doing it through the arts. So we definitely want to put a spotlight on them.
Absolutely. And they will have their time to shine on the stage that day as well. All right, ladies, I'm going to let you guys go because I know you are writing some other wonderful pieces that are going to come out later on this year and the years to come. But I look forward to seeing you guys on Saturday morning. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you,
ladies.
See you soon.
That's
contact you.
Tara, Poetry in Motion, Felicia Madlock, and Vicki Walker. Just a few of the phenomenal authors that are going to be at the Authors Read Literary Showcase this coming Saturday, noon to 4 p.m. You see the link going across the screen. Go ahead and get that information, and we'll see you there on Saturday. Now, it's so funny as we segue to the next segment of the Unstoppable Story Show. Thank you guys for continuing to hang out with us this evening. You know, putting together an event like this and having it free to the public, it ain't easy. Ain't easy at all. Don't let anyone think that that is the case. But what I love about it is that there are so many different ways to put on a phenomenal event and still be a blessing to the community. And one way of doing that is through this thing called fundraising. And I gotta admit to you, I've never done a fundraiser before. I've always been one of those persons that have been afraid to ask for money or to ask for capital. But in the new age that we live in these days, finding capital and finding funding for your event has gotten so much easier if, and I say if with a big I and a big F, if you know the strategies in order to make that happen. And why not start off your 2019 taking your business efforts, your fundraising efforts to the next level by connecting with someone who I consider the queen of crowdfunding. She is the phenomenal lady. She's got her own show called Right Place TV. She is a business coach. She's a strategist, and she is just an all-around wonderful young phenomenal woman doing big things, and she loves what she does, and I love to hear her talk about it. So welcome to the stage, DrLetitia Wright. Hey,
thank you so much. Can you hear me okay?
How are you?
I am good, thank you. I am in my car, so I'm between places. Hopefully the sound is good.
The sound is crystal clear, and besides, it's the West Coast. It's sunny California. It all just looks great compared to 19 degrees where I am right now. So Dr. Wright, the queen of crowdfunding. I don't know if you call yourself that, but that's how I look at you in my own humble way, because you have taught literally thousands of people on how to find the funding and the capital that they need to take their business to the next level. And before you came on, I was just telling people how I was just afraid just to do a little Facebook fundraising thing that they just started to put out there for people. And it scared me to death. So going to that next level of doing crowdfunding and raising capital for your business, I'm sure it scares a lot of people. So why don't you start out by introducing yourself and tell us a little bit about what this thing called crowdfunding is all about?
Absolutely. So I'm DrLetitia Wright. I'm America's crowdfunding strategist. Some people have called me the queen of crowdfunding. That's a lot of fun. I host I host the Right Place TV show, and I host a podcast called the Get Crowdfunded Now podcast, which is on iTunes and Stitcher, Anchor.fm, everywhere you guys get your podcasts. That's where it is. And I am also one of the top 100 crowdfunding experts in the nation. I've been on that list for about 6 years now. So I go around the country teaching businesses about business crowdfunding, because there's personal crowdfunding, which you hear about on GoFundMe. You hear about terrible tragedies. Someone got hurt very badly, someone's house burned down, some tragedy where millions of dollars are raised for people. You hear about that all the time. But there is a segment of business crowdfunding where businesses can use it to raise money, and it has a completely different type of strategy that goes with it. It's not the same as using GoFundMe. And so Facebook will let you raise things for personal and for charity, but I do predict that Facebook will get into the business crowdfunding. I don't know when, but they will do it, I think, in the future. Here's the thing. Last year, get this, Terrance, last year, $298 billion was
Wow.
raised with crowdfunding.
Say that. Wait. We got to roll that back and say it a little bit slower because I don't think anybody heard you. How 2.98 billion?
Billion.
Billion with a
Yes.
B, right?
Business crowdfunding. And this does not include what was done with cryptocurrency, because the business part, the way they raise money with cryptocurrency, they're using crowdfunding techniques. I'm not talking about the technology part, but the business part, the revenue part. They're just using crowdfunding. And so what we have here is a phenomenal way for you to start a business, expand your business, bring money into your business that does not require that you have good credit. It does not require that you can, you can qualify for it. It doesn't require that you put up any of your assets. It has a whole different playing field that now all of us can get on. It's not just for the elite few, but it does take education, and it does take understanding of how it works. A lot of people just say, oh, well, so and so made money, so I can make money. And they really don't understand some of the principles. So I'd love to take a minute to kind of knock down some of the myths so people can understand. Like you said, if you have an education behind it, you can go in there and get your part of the money. So first of all, why would somebody bother to crowdfund? I was having lunch with another businesswoman, and she said her partner was like, well, why would you bother crowdfunding? You can go get microloans, you can go get a loan, you can go get this and that. And I'm very fortunate here in the Inland Empire where I live. There are several micro lenders that are wonderful. They're great. You can go get $5,000, $10,000, $20,000. These micro lenders are fantastic, and I encourage everyone. There's a point where an SBA loan might be for you, or a micro loan might be for you, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with getting a business loan. You're investing in your business and you're moving forward. But if you are in a situation where you don't have property, you don't have the credit, you might need to do some crowdfunding so that you can bring in capital in a different way. And then you can still go back and get a loan later. So why might you do crowdfunding? You might do crowdfunding because you want to not only bring in cash, but you want to bring in actual clients and a tribe with it. That's what a loan can't do for you. A loan can bring you money, but it doesn't bring any people with it. The money that comes with crowdfunding also comes with clients. And so that's what makes crowdfunding so great for a lot of people.
And so when you say the clients that come along with it, are you saying these are people that not only are interested in you from a financial standpoint, but they also may be interested in what your business is all about too?
Yes, depending upon the type of crowdfunding that you're doing, they may have already given you money for your products before you've even made them. Before you write that book, wouldn't it be great for you to already know you sold 500 or 5,000 or
Oh,
50,000 and they already
absolutely.
sold? So that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about knowing exactly how much money is coming in. I'm talking about having investors say, yes, I see your company is worth this amount of money and I'm putting this amount of money in. Would that be great for you to not say, well, I think my company is worth 2.5 million, but to have an investor say, I'm putting this much in based on the fact that I'm experienced and I feel that your company is worth that much. Now you have something really excellent to go upon. And we have a whole new ball game.
I love it. I love it. We're talking to the crowdfunding queen herself, DrLetitia Wright, on the Unstoppable Story Show with Terrance Leftridge. Come on, show us some heart, show us some love, and put your comments in on the Facebook page. Walter Jones says, crowdfunding is how I raised money for my new book. She's on it. There you go. There's an example right there. Nothing like a testimonial. Thank you, Walter Jones, for sharing that with us. And before I go any further, I didn't get a chance to say it, but you know what? The Unstoppable Story Show really was a seed that was planted by this lovely lady long time ago. I saw her doing her show, The Right Place TV show, and I was like, man, that's what I want to do. I want to be able to bring people on and interview them and have them talk about their story and how they got to where they are and how they're helping other people do the same. So I just want to thank you. Two things. Number one, for finally being a guest on my show. But more
I know we booked this 6 months ago. We booked this a long time ago.
Yeah, I said I got to get on her book before she get filled up because she's doing big things internationally. That's how Dr. Wright rolls. But
Yes.
I want to thank you for being the mentor and the encourager from afar to see that you and me, we're ordinary people, but because of what we do with your show and what this show, we are being able to be an impact on people all across the world. So thank you for planting that seed in my head. And now
you're welcome, and you're doing a great job. You're doing a wonderful job.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I humbly accept that. But now, so why are some people so afraid to give crowdfunding a try, either from a personal basis or a cause or from a business standpoint?
Well, I only work with people on the business standpoint. So I'll tell you what, I'm not addressing anything that's personal. So if you're on here because you're trying to raise money for a car, or you need to pay your rent, or you need to pay your school bills, this doesn't really apply because I work with entrepreneurs that are trying to expand their business. And I will say a lot of entrepreneurs are very worried about giving the impression that they're needy and their business is about to go under. That is a very, very real concern because nobody wants to buy a book from you if they think your store is getting ready to be closed tomorrow.
Right.
Nobody wants to buy products and services from you if they're shaky about if you're going to be open. And so it's very important that you present, number one, you don't even have to use the word crowdfunding, but you present what you're doing, not as, hey, I'm fundraising, but hey, I'm about to go on this adventure. Don't you want to come with me? Terrance, I'm about to do something with 10 different wonderful people who are show hosts and producers like you. Wouldn't you like to be a part of this? Guess what? You're going to be a part of it. It's going to cost $500 each. Everybody's going to put in $500. But wouldn't you like to be a part of this? It's going to be fantastic. And it's only show hosts and producers that can be a part of what I'm about to do. Now you have something, you have a target audience. It's not for everybody. It's a target audience. and you have something that's an adventure that you're inviting them on. Not, oh, Terrance, if you don't give me $500, I'm going to go under. It's going to be the end of me. I'm going to be
Yeah.
out. I'm going to be,
Yeah.
it's how you are presenting it and what quality are you giving it. A lot of people are trying to do crowdfunding and they're actually not offering anybody anything of any quality. They're like, oh, I want the people to give me $5,000. Okay. And what are you giving them? And
Right.
then they come up absolutely blank because they honestly think it's some kind of magic fairy dust where you just put it up there and people just give you money. And that's not what it's about. You're a business and you have to give a quality exchange. So it's not the same as a personal raise. That's why I don't put it in the same thing. And I don't even work with people who are trying to do a personal raise. So if someone wants to work with me, they have to apply to work with me. Number one, they have to go to meetwithdrwright.com and apply for an appointment. If everything is on the, good, then I have an appointment with them. And then we can talk about, can we do a project together? Can we work together? Can I help you? But if you have some crazy idea of, hey, I'm trying to raise $10 million and I'm not, you're really not giving anything back. And the thing is, I've worked with so many people on so many different industries. You really can't pull too much over on me. I mean, people can't come through with something and try to convince me that it's something when it's not. When you're really not there to give value, you're really just trying to snatch money out of people's pockets. I'm not going to be a part of that, and I'm not going to show you how to use crowdfunding to do that. So if you're coming with something with quality, you're about to give a quality exchange, then it's a really great opportunity for you and them.
And I love how you gave that analogy, and it really ties into what we were talking about in our other segment about the power of words. Words make a difference, and if you can frame it for an investor or for someone who wants to give to a worthy cause about the value of being a part of this adventure and about the value that you're going to be giving to your target audience by doing what you plan to do with the funds that you raise, that makes all the difference in the world. And I love how that makes a difference and how the strategy that you talked about behind it makes all the difference between a successful campaign and something that's going to fall flat on its face before it gets started. So
absolutely. It's not really enough to copy someone else's campaign, like, oh, they did this, I'm going to do this, because you can't see what they did behind the scenes. That's why I'm a strategist. I'm working with someone, you don't know who they're connected to. You don't know what kind of advertising they did. People will tell you how much they raised. They never tell you how much they spent. So when I set up my new crowdfunding academy, which is in beta, it has a great less than $500. You can get the whole course online at getcrowdfundednow.com. I put it in beta for people to test it out and give me some feedback. Make sure all the buttons work. You know how you put something up, the
yeah,
website is
yeah,
brand new, and then you
right,
got somebody
right.
calling you going, hey, this button don't work. That's the worst feeling ever. So I'm like, let me make sure everybody's poking the buttons and they all work. So it's less than $500 for the Kickstarter course, the subscription course, and I have on there the $1 million crowdfunding course. I have that on there, how to raise $1 million using crowdfunding. All of that is in there. And, of course, that's going to go up later. But, for 10 people who want to use it now, go ahead and knock yourself out. When we do all of that and you get the strategy first, then you can take the tactics and really go to town. And you have that under your belt. You can do it over and over and over again. But without the strategy first, just going somewhere and saying, hey, help me crowdfund or let me crowdfund. And there's no real strategy. There's no real clarity as to what you're doing, how it fits into your overall business. Then it doesn't help you because you can make mistakes that make enemies. You can make mistakes trying to copy what someone else is doing without the resources that they had. You're going to make a bad mistake. See, Terrance is over there cooking gumbo. I'm trying to copy what he's cooking, but I
Right.
don't have no shrimp like he got. I don't have no andouille like he got. I don't have no fresh chicken like he got. And
Ain't
so
got the secret sauce.
I ain't got the secret sauce. And so you taste it and then it's like, you know what I mean? Because I'm trying to copy, but didn't have the same resources. That's what people are doing in crowdfunding. That's why they're crashing and burning. That's why they're not making any money. And people are very, very, I find it very, reluctant sometimes. Well, I don't need you to help me. I can just do it myself. Okay, awesome. But honestly, there are not very many people who are doing. There are some people out there who just get it because they understand, like they just intuitively understand. There's those people are always out there. You know what I mean? There's some people who can just get it. It's sort of like I have a kid in my family that his parent, when it came to potty training time, he was getting bigger, and his dad just said to him, "Whoo, man, these diapers, they're getting tough. You need to start using the toilet." And the little kid said, "Okay." And after that, he just started using the toilet. Like he was potty trained like that. So there's always those people who just get it and do it. But that's not most of us.
Yeah.
Most of us
Absolutely.
have to be potty trained. Most of us don't do that. And the dad was just kidding. He had no idea that would work. He was just saying, "Whoo, these diapers are getting tough." But the kid was like, "Oh, okay, I'll just start using the toilet." And he just did. And they just never needed a diaper for that kid ever again.
And you know what? That speaks to sometimes just simplicity makes the best statement. And I'm sure a lot of people, and you probably come across a lot of businesses that want to overthink what they're actually going to use the crowdfunding for, or how they want to come across with the crowdfunding strategy, when in essence, if they work with someone like yourself and they get the strategy and realize that sometimes it's just as simple as, "Ooh, those diapers are getting rough," to make someone aware of the situation and move to a different action.
Absolutely.
It's just
You're so right. You nailed it. Because I get the people that are like, "Hey, we're going to build a hospital and build a school and dig a well and start the this and do the this and that. Hey, you can't do all of that. Let's pick one thing.
Yes.
What are you doing? And let's pick something that makes sense. Let's pick something your tribe would be interested in. Yeah, you could crowdfund that, but none of your people are interested in that. So let's not crowdfund that. I like zombies. I like Walking Dead. But if I start crowdfunding something about zombies and Walking Dead, the majority of my tribe is not interested in that. I have a small piece of my tribe that's into that, but that's not enough to go crowdfund on that. And so you're so right. It's like you've got to really understand. So let's get the strategy first. Work with me on your strategy. What are you doing? How does it fit into your overall business? How does it fit into where you're going? How does it fit into how you want to look, how you want your business to look, and how you want to bring in customers and clients, how you want to create revenue? And then let's get down to the tactic. Figuring out which website to use as a tactic is not a strategy.
And if you go over to Dr. Letitia Wright's website, which is therightplacetv.com, you can get more information about those things called crowdfunding tools. She has a 5-part series on her page talking about raising funds with business crowdfunding tools. So that is definitely a great read. You should go on over to therightplacetv.com and get more fabulous information about what this a woman is doing. This young, phenomenal woman is doing.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on the show. It's so fun to see you and get to hang out. I'm sorry the lighting is so bad. It literally, the sun has gone down. I'm in my car. So
welcome to the rest of us. So you mentioned a couple of different websites, because I want to get those out there before you go.
Sure.
I definitely want you to be safe. Did you say to set up an interview to apply to work with you? Is that meetwithdrwright.com?
That is true. Apply at meetwithdrwright.com. You'll put in your information, and then we can talk about your project and see if we're a good fit to work together. So that's just meetwithdrwright.com. What it does is it gives you a link to schedule an appointment with me. So we'll find out and we'll talk and see if we're a good fit. And then for those of you who would like to take advantage of the beta class while it's open, it's at getcrowdfundednow.com. Getcrowdfundednow.com. Phenomenal price. Again, I'm doing it this low because I just want a few people to try it out and push all the buttons, make sure it works, because the course will be going up to thousands of dollars. So if you'd like to test it and learn it, have access to it, for less than $500, This is your opportunity. Everybody's always like, "Oh, Dr. Wright, I wish I could afford you." Here you go.
Yeah.
I'm online for
And
$500.
Dr. Wright, she's not playing. She works with millionaires and billionaires each and every day. She's living her best life, and she's showing other people how to do the same. I look on her page. She's in Hawaii. She's in the Pacific, in the Philippines. I keep up with her, but I am so glad that I got a chance to know you. I got one quick question before we let you go.
Yes.
Business crowdfunding. I have some clients that have nonprofits. Is crowdfunding different? Is it a different animal for nonprofits than for-profits?
It is a slightly different animal in that we use a different strategy, but I have nonprofit clients, and I have a client every year. What I do for her, her nonprofit is out of Los Angeles. What she does is she raises money for toys for kids who are in the hospital for cancer treatment. So they need very specific toys, number one. Number two, only certain people are cleared to go in and have contact with them because, they can't be exposed to everybody. Right. And the toys have to be brand new. So she don't need volunteers. She has her own set of volunteers who are already cleared. She don't need you to donate toys because she needs to clear the toys. She's the go-to with the hospital. She needs to buy the toys. All she needs is cash. And so what we do is, she calls it Christmas in July. I actually go behind the scenes and run the campaign for her. So it looks like she's doing the campaign, but I actually run the campaign for her as a client. And we raise about $5,000 every year in, just a couple of months, just raising the money. And so for nonprofits, crowdfunding is a great way to do it. Again, you have to understand how to do it. Sometimes churches are trying to crowdfund and they don't understand why they're not getting traction. Well, because for the church, you don't make it look any different than the offering. It just looks like another offering. And so people don't understand what you're doing. And so again, it's all about strategy, but it works very, very well. But it has a different set of strategies that I use that are different than for-profits, but it works awesome.
I love it. I love it. So listen, you guys, you got to get on over to getcrowdfunded.com. Get
crowdfunded now. Get crowdfunded now. I'm sorry. Get crowdfunded
I'm sorry.
now.
That's probably my dyslexia, not yours.
Get crowdfundednow.com. And the classes are up there. They're really at a great price. They're going to bless some people who number one need the blessing. I'm happy to bless you. Because here's the thing. They're going to be up for thousands of dollars. And Dr. Wright doesn't go on sale. Like, this is as low as it's ever going to be. So, that's my thing. So I want to bless anybody, especially if you're one of Terrance's tribe. You need this, and this is what I can do. Because if you don't think investing $500 to learn how to bring in $1 million into your business, if you don't think that's a good deal, then okay, you just don't get it, I guess.
You just don't get it. Well, we're going to leave that as the last word. I want you to get out of that car, get someplace safe, even though you are in sunny California. Stuff still happens. I appreciate you. I am so honored to be able to say on my show that Dr. Wright from Right Place TV was on my show.
Thank you so much for having me.
I had my bucket list for 2019, and my mantra was #elevate, and I had to elevate my guest. And you are one of those people that I feel has now elevated my show. So thank you. Any last words before you go?
I just want to encourage everybody to don't worry about the economy. Focus on your business and focus on your lovely clients and customers that you want to serve. They're the people who need your services. Get out there, stay focused, and be yourself. And remember, ignoring one's conscience is neither safe nor right.
Love it. Love it. Thank you, Dr. Wright. Go on over to getcrowdfundednow.com. Get this offer. You can't beat it with a stick. She told you she don't go on sale. So if you don't get it now, don't be calling her later. Thank you, Dr. Wright. I appreciate you. I will contact you later, but I want you to go get someplace safe so that I can have you back on the show sometime soon. Love you so much. Thank you, Doc.
Thank you. Love you too. Bye-bye. Tell your wife I said hi.
I will do that. All right, go on over to getcrowdfundednow.com. If you are a business that's trying to take it to the next level of your greatness, then this is the place to start. You know, I keep telling you guys each and every week, even coaches need coaches. I've got a coach. If you're trying to take your business to the next level and you need a strategy to how to build some capital and also build some clients, which is probably something you didn't think about when you were trying to build capital, then you need to get with DrLetitia Wright. So go on over to getcrowdfundednow.com. All right, you guys, I want you to remember this Saturday, we are going to be doing the Authors Read Literary Showcase here in Chicago. Authors Read Literary Showcase, noon to 4 p.m. Go on over to bit.ly/authors read. It's a free event. No excuses for you not to have your face in the place. And we look forward to seeing you there. Before I go, I also want to say that the Unstoppable Story Show has picked up yet another sponsor. Say sponsor! Yay! Give you that virtual clap. We have the phenomenal Butterfly Grafix. Butterfly Grafix with the visionary graphic specialist herself, Tara Gazzuolo, out of Atlanta, Georgia. She does all our graphics. All the graphics that you see here on the Unstoppable Story Show were done by Butterfly Graphics. You can see the flyer for the Authors Read event. You can see the wonderful logo for the Unstoppable Story Show. You see this phenomenal banner that's behind me. All of those done by the phenomenal visionary graphics specialist over at Butterfly Graphics. They can do your book covers. They can do your business cards. They can do your step and repeats. Anything that needs a graphic design, anything that needs a personalized touch, you can get it at butterflygraphics.com. So welcome them to the Unstoppable Story Show. If you want more information on it, or if you've got a graphic ideal that you are trying to bring to life, but you just can't quite put your finger on it, then get in contact with the good folks over at Butterfly Graphics. You can reach Tara at butterflygraphics.com, or you can reach her at 770-864-3339. Butterfly Graphics, where they will take your vision and make it a reality. And also, don't forget our other sponsors that are doing great things with the Unstoppable Story Show is, of course, SNL Vacations. SNL Vacations. If you are looking for scenic locales, if you're looking for a no-hassle customer service experience, and if you are looking for locations that are going to lead to lifelong, luxurious memories, then you need to check out SNL Vacations. We specialize in cruises and group vacations, and you can go on over to snlvacations.com and look at all the phenomenal locales and sceneries and fun vacations that await you over at snlvacations.com. snlvacations.com. All right, you guys. Well, that is a wrap. I appreciate you guys for hanging out. George Hernandez is hanging out at the watch party. Lady Rochelle Dotson Matheny, Arlene Collins, Walter Jones, Tanya Neal, Trina Brown, Monica Williams-Stevens, Anthony Gantz, Ambria Shaw, Melvin Williams, Eddie Garces, and many, many more. Thank you guys for stopping through, whether you stayed for the whole show, if you stayed just for a minute, we appreciate you. We can't do this show without you. And we love talking to ordinary people with unstoppable stories. So just remember, your words make a difference. Your words can heal. Your words can hurt. Your words can save. Your words can shine a light on situations. Your words can create causes, and your words can create powerful, lasting memories. The world needs your words. We want to give you the platform to share those words. So we welcome you to become a guest on the Unstoppable Story Show with Terrance Leftridge. We get over 250 average views per week now, and that's growing. I'm glad to say, because of people like you and viewers like yourself. So if you want to be a guest on the Unstoppable Story Show, then why don't you just email us? Email us at info@unstoppablecoaching.com. info@unstoppablecoaching.com. And who knows, you may be the next guest on the Unstoppable Story Show with Terrance Leftridge. And finally, you know what? I would be remiss if I didn't say this, because again, doing a show like this on a weekly basis is not free, but it's worth it. And so we love hearing the testimonials of how the show blessed people and how they got some great information or they got some great inspiration to carry them through the rest of the week. So if this show has been a blessing to you, why not consider to donating to the Unstoppable Story Show so you can keep us on the air and you can keep seeing these quality, informative guests each and every week. You can simply send a donation in any kind to paypal.me/unstoppable coaching. paypal.me/unstoppable coaching. Won't you go ahead and consider, since you've been blessed, be a blessing. If you pay it forward, it always comes back tenfold to you. That's in the good book. All right. So again, thank you so much for being a part of the Unstoppable Story Show with Terrance Leftridge. As always, I wish you nothing but a fabulous, completely unstoppable rest of the week. I look forward to seeing most of you this weekend at the Authors Read Literary Showcase. But for the rest of you, wherever you are in the world today, you know what I say. Don't just make it a great day. Make it an unstoppable day. Take care.